सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मीरारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। Pujya Ma Bhagavati, Pujya Sri Arvind, and you all present here and the people listening to these discourses outside are all chosen children for this tremendously supra-scientific and supra-realistic, supra-mental adventure. There are three different layers of our being. That is what Sri Aurobindo has depicted in Savitri. The entire quantum of new spirituality dictated by Mother to Satprem, directly from the horse's mouth, the new reality, new consciousness, new time and new space and new velocity were so transmitted to the cosmic consciousness, and that ultimately accelerated tremendously the velocity of evolution. As Sri Aurobindo has depicted evolution on the base of the evolutionary principles propounded by Charles Darwin, there are stages of evolution: chemical stage, biological stage, psychological stage. But Sri Aurobindo accepted the principle of evolution, truth of evolution, but there are no stages. It is a constant flux of consciousness. Life emerged on the material plane of the earth is a constant flux of consciousness. But that constant flux of consciousness in its natural way is evolution. If it becomes our conscious way, then it becomes sadhana. It becomes individual evolution. So we cannot effectuate, we cannot handle, we cannot cause the cosmic evolution, earthly evolution to get the exceptional speed. Individually we can. So Mother was given mind of light, was the signal to get Mother into the format of World Mother of tomorrow. Mother is to get this ascent from Mother as such, born and brought up in Paris, Algeria, and in different countries of she visited. But her final visit to Pondicherry is for this sadhana, is for this evolution, is to be Mother of the entire universe. So the form of universal Mother that Sri Aurobindo could find out in Mother physically, there in Pondicherry was depicted in mother, that is Maheshwari, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali and Mahasaraswati in apparently human form. It is the divinity that is there in mother's psychic, and the circumference of that divinity is the millions and billions cells of the mother. Purity of this human birth, as she was born as extraordinarily human being. Mother's birth was not an ordinary birth. Mother's life as human body is also not an ordinary human being. Mother's life of human body is the life of divinity manifesting gradually in tune with the evolution divinity. The psychic that is getting its own gradual expression throughout her human life till she came to Pondicherry. So all different branches of knowledge, all different modes of experiences, which is utmost inevitable for any human soul to get this ascent throughout the life, and that is why all different births in series are naturally required for individual to grow up. We are growing up means not that we are changing our biological form. We are growing up, that does not mean we are changing the height of our mind. We are growing up, that does not mean we are changing from monkey to human being, from amoeba to monkey. But making the psychic more and more effective in our extra genius, extra territorial and extra psychic personality. The cell of the body must also feel its own physicality, its own vitality, its own mentality and its own psychicality. That is the event. If we are rightly awakened, we are awakened at the physical level, vital level, mental level and at the psychic level. So this is the yoga of Savitri depicted in Savitri, where Radha and Krishna attwin in bliss as one. Radha is not separate from Krishna and Krishna is not separate from Radha, means the universal feminine consciousness is not separate from the universal masculine consciousness. Om Tat Sat, Shiv Shakti is the entire universe, and that is what Capra with his physical eyes saw at Marine Lines in Bombay. It is the experience of the scientist, but experience is not materialistic experience, nor chemical experience, nor biological experience. All different branches of science end there. It is the supra-scientific experience. It is the spiritual experience, but a primary spiritual experience made available ex gratia by the divine to the scientist for taking the right perspective of the connectivity between materialism and spiritualism. Materialism is a right progress of science, but spiritualism is the higher progress of science. It is the higher science that is to be imbibed by the future humanity. We are entering into the age where our psychic should be par excellent active. Up till now we have felt the activization and activated movement of mind. Now time has come. We must stop our mind this way to go here, there and everywhere in a zigzag movement. Now time has come to make all our three different layers of the body at well spotted, well placed at its level, at its juncture, at its spot where the real value of that layer can be manifested. physical is required, vital is required, mental is required, but over and above, to bridle all three layers, psychic is required. So psychic has to work actively as superpower in the body, that is the light of mind. Mind was full of light. Mind was full of consciousness. Mind was full of velocity. These are the experiences we have up till now gone through, undergone. But the new experience that Mother was assigned by Sri Aurobindo on 5th of December 50 was to awaken the circumference. Not only awakening of the center is enough, awakening of the circumference is also to be so clubbed that body becomes the master pattern. So the right interaction between center and the circumference, right interaction between center psychic of the mother at present, in present birth, with the cells of the mother. Where psychic is there, light is there, reality is there, infinity is there, but over and above, purity is there. With the wrong projection of our mind, we created so many thousands and thousands of wrong habits, and the engrams of all such wrong habits of our previous birth have been so wrongly collected as go down. Our mind is not a library. Our mind is a go down, where all different engrams of the previous birth have been collected, and collected so non-systematically. And that becomes our harassment in present life. If they are to be gradually set right in the light of our psychic, not in the light of our mind. In Savitri, Sri Aurobindo has written, in the very presence of our corporal mind, the Lord will enter into our being silently and secretly like a thief. So this psychic will be charged automatically. But by whom? By whom? Externally by supramental, that has been descended down on the earth. And internally, because two patterns are being formed simultaneously, Swarat and Virat. As Lord Krishna leapt out the movement in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna felt himself individual also supreme, and felt himself supreme at the Virat level. That is the objective of this cellular transformation of the mother. To live as individual mother, to live as individual being, simultaneously to live as Virat. And as she is required to live as Virat, means what? Her visions must be Virat, her visions must be extended, the circumference of her experience might be enhanced. No. It is the entire universe that can take refuge in her single heart. Mother's maternal love, irrespective of her being Western lady, she started loving each and every being on the earth as world mother, universal mother. That is how after 50 her psychic circumference, her psychic orbit was enhanced under the direct supervision of Sri Aurobindo's supramental body. It's a very new event, and that is what Mother explained to Satprem. It is a strange kind of life, because it is for the very first time any soul up till now born on the earth has ever experienced this experience. This is the first human being who is being evolved on the earth as God. The objective of this human being of mother is evolving, not in a better human being, not in a greater human being. So he grew in his self, that the humanity framed its movement less and less. That was the experience of Ashwapati. But mother's experience is a synthesis of the experience of Ashwapati and of her own experience. That is the distinction between the yoga of Sri Aurobindo and the yoga of mother. So mother is leading her psychic, is leading her being to totality. Mother's yoga is her psychic is leading her being completely, and her being means trinity of her personality, physical being, vital being and mental being, to the grand totality, to the grand paripurnata, to the grand perfection. And one man's perfection still can save the world. That is what, for the first time, mother's perfection is one man's perfection, because she started her journey as human being and she blessed the entire universe at the time of 17th November 1973 as Universal Mother. That is, one man's perfection still can save the world. So we people are not left out, helpless. We people are not left out in the uncertain world. We have been chosen by her. We are her soldiers. We are her companions. We are her gop and gopis. So the Krishna consciousness in totality and consciousness of Radha is also in the same form of totality as of Lord Krishna. That is, supramental perfection in one individual might be a feminine consciousness or a masculine consciousness, but in order to make the relativity perfect, reality is perfect. It is the question with reality simply of manifestation, not of any assent. Om Tat Sat is perfect. Omkar is perfect. But Omkar, when is made matter, has to be perfect. It is the matter that has to ascend. Matter at one level, at inert level, is also matter. Matter at human level is also matter. And matter at spirit, at the level of spirit, is also matter. But Trinity is to be so totalized that it becomes the totality of the human being on the earth, and the entire personality of the human being, apparently divided into three different layers, have to be simultaneously so extended that it can manifest total relativity, perfect relativity. Einstein's relativity is imperfect relativity. Mother's relativity, experienced by these 23 years while interacting with Satprem, is march from reality to the perfection. Mother was not imperfect. Mother was mother, individual mother, individual perfection, but realizing individual perfection with a same and assigned objective of being world mother for the entire universe was the yoga conducted by mother in Savitri, where the yoga of Sri Aurobindo was also included, and all different yogas of the world have also been included, and that is why it is called integral yoga. So the yoga of Sri Aurobindo is also integral yoga, and yoga of the mother is also integral yoga, but combination of both these yoga, grand total of ascent and descent, yoga of Sri Aurobindo and yoga of mother, is the yoga of Shiv Shakti, that is perfection, invisible perfection at the level of Paratpar, has to be brought down on the earth as the perfection of relativity. It's a strange kind of life which is neither here nor there, which is neither here nor there. There also is invisible perfection, here visible imperfection. So invisible perfection has to be made visible here, but perfection on the earth. That is life divine. That is the kingdom of God, which is not a mixture of both states. See, which is not a mixture. We people following the principles of geometry and principles of mathematics simply understand 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. It is not 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. It is the 1 plus 1 is equal to 11. That is perfection. Grand total is 1 plus 1 is equal to 11. Both states not their juxtaposition. Shiva and Shakti, Ardhanari Nateswar. Half of the body is of Parvati and half of the body is Lord Shiva. Half of the body is Krishna and half of the body is Radha. Is our geometrical diagram of depicted, assimilated and understood by our imperfect mind. But it is the grand total, inseparable grand total, inseparable. That is perfection. That is life divine on the earth, where to be Purush, to be masculine is not important, to be feminine is not important, but to be the form of the soul, form of the consciousness, form of our spirit, form of our Atma is important. Body was not there. Bodies were needed not. Soul itself was its deathless form. Then deathless form can come on the earth. Then deathless form can emerge on the earth from the earth's stuff, from matter itself, from mortality itself, from imperfection itself. That is for the first time executed on the earth by this world mother after getting this new perfection, and that is why it is a strange experiment. But as if the two operated through one another. See how mother experienced. Two operated one another. It is the psychic that can operate the mind, and it is the supramentalized mind, that is mind of light, can operate the psychic, because they were not two, they are one. Apparently they seem to be two. So where 1 plus 1 is to be made 11, 1 plus 1 is not to be made 2. So 1 plus 1 is 11 is totality, and 1 plus 1, 2 is grand total. So it's a strange experience. But as if the two operated through one another, it must be intracellular. In other words, the mixture must be very microscopic on the surface. Intracellular. Matter of the body, physical being. Vital of the body, force. Mental of the body, intellect, are to be so clubbed in one cell that the light of the cell, mind of the cell, reality of the cell, nucleus of the cell is in center, and a microscopic circumference but pure and infinite circumference is created at the cellular level. If one cell that is immortal, immortality is there, as I told you, infinity is there, immortality is there, multiplicity is there. That one cell, if it gets perfection in terms of this new language adopted by the mother to express herself, then the one perfect cell can enhance its own orbit in such a way that the entire body can be covered up. Entire body can be covered up. If atom of the matter can cover up the entire universe, similarly atom, one atom of the body, that is cell, at its perfection level can cover up the entire body. And that is the sadhana mother undertook there in Pondicherry up to 1973. Be very microscopic, it is very microscopic. So cellular existence is microscopic is very clearly understood by all of us, without knowing even biology, without knowing even physics, and without entering into any spirituality. So it is for the mass, it is for the earth and the man that was lived before our very nose by the mother. Simple ignorance on our part is a curtain in between. Truly, we don't know. Satprem says, truly, we don't know. As I told you, we are ignorant of this scenario going on. Truly, we don't know if there has ever been a more essential event in the history of humanity. I don't think any event in the world more essential than this event across the path of the divine event, that is the very second line of Savitri. History of humanity, then the experiment of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. This is divine event. This is divine relativity. This is kingdom of God. This is unprecedented manifestation of the supreme in totality on the imperfect surface of the earth. Our nuclear experiments are child's play in comparison, although scientific discoveries have certainly prepared us better to understand the present experiment. Provided we are scientific minded, provided we are having scientific attitude, then we can enter very easily into this yoga. So to entry into this yoga, entry into this new scenario requires our mind to be judicious, our mind to be transparent, our mind to be mindless space, our mind to be at most competent at human level. Then only we can enter into it. With blind faith, we are not entering into it, or we are not gaining anything in spite of our entry into it ex gratia. Our mind should be judicious, transparent, non-active wrongly, and highly receptive virtually. And that is why it starts with the yoga of Sri Aurobindo also started with mind, and yoga of mother also started with mind. But they are so clubbed that 1 + 1 becomes 11, where perfection of 9 is hidden, as it is hidden in the cell as mind of light, hidden in the cell as mind of cell, hidden in the cell as nucleus of immortality. That cell is immortal. Why? Because it is divine, because it is pure. So if purity of mind can be there, we can get right, real, meaningful, genuine connectivity with our individual circumference and with the circumference of the vast. Our nuclear experiments. So the nuclear experiments of science means science of Einstein, where grand total of present science is made available to humanity in one form or another. But the truth is the truth from mortality to immortality. Mrityorma amrutam gamaya. That is the last, ultimate and final goal of the entire existence, and is the final goal of evolution. This between two states, that is the title given by Satprem to this portion. This crossing through the wall, mother is crossing the wall, and before our very nose we have seen that how wall of Germany, Eastern Germany and Western Germany, is broken down, is smashed. Event we have seen. So what is the event behind it? It's not that two parts of one country are once again united together, but it is the fundamental principle of 1 plus 1 are to be united, but striking off the sign of plus. You are Hindu, I am Muslim. You are Jain, I am Buddha. I am Hindu, you are non-Hindus. Are all signals, are all signs, external signs. They can create limit. They can create limit. If we want to be unlimited, similar to Supreme, we'll have to forget. These all artificial signals and artificial signs. That will be the fraternity, ideal of world's unity. This yoga is not the mere yoga for moksha and salvation. This is for the true realization of true unity, that is 1 plus 1 is equal to 11. True unity between our Jivatma and Paramatma. True unity between our psychic and the Supreme. True unity between our manifested body and the invisible Shiva and Shakti. That is the reality to be realized by all of us. And that is the goal of Sri Aurobindo. So goal of Sri Aurobindo's yoga is the tomorrow's reality of the entire existence, where existence and God are one and the same. There also and here also, wall is to be removed. Wall is to be removed. That is it. We are out. We are in the other environment for good. If we can cross over the wall, if we can go out of the wall, if we can go out of our self-imposed prison. We are imprisoned in the jail. But who is the jailer? We are the jailer and we are the prisoners. We created the jail and we are the prisoners. We know how to get out of it, but still we don't know how to get out of it. That is our present state of ignorance because of our attachment, because of our mental conditioning. These are all our dead habits and they are all to be removed. If our mind can be purified, our mind can be transparent, if our mind can be plastic, if our mind can be flexible, if our mind can be properly bridled by our own psychic, we can create the individual perfection. And that is a must to be the base of this new evolution to be realized by us in this birth on the earth.